And we are live with another edition of On the Sofa with me, Black Sofa. Unfortunately, my new co-host, Brain Sample, can't be with us this evening, and but we've got Greg with us in the side chat, and he's asking, "Did I miss shooting the shit last night?" No, I didn't do it last night. I to be honest, I completely forgot about it. I'm just I'm still getting back into the swing of things. But all things being equal, there will be one next week. Next Wednesday night at 10 p.m. So watch this space. But tonight is On the Sofa, where where I talk about politics, and we're mostly going to be talking about Partygate. So we're going to, Boris Johnson is in trouble, and but so let's get into this. Let's just bring up the first. I think we'll do that one first. So the police are, have decided to investigate the Downing Street lockdown parties. The Metropolitan Police has launched an investigation into parties held in Number 10 during the coronavirus pandemic. Officers were looking into potential breaches of COVID-19 regulations in Downing Street and Whitehall since 2020, Commissioner Cressida Dick said. She added that the investigation was launched after an internal inquiry led by civil servant Sue Gray passed information to the force. His spokesperson said the PM did not believe he had broken the law. So this is... we've got Nerdy Rodent in the chat. Well, Nerdy Rodent says this: does anyone have cheese and wine for this work event, which won't last more than 10 minutes? So this is the news that Sue Gray, the person who was who's been working on the reports into into all of these parties that have been taking place last year during lockdown. She passed on her report to the police, the Metropolitan Police, and they have decided that there's enough evidence for them to actually investigate further. At first, they weren't going to investigate any further, but now they've decided that they are going to investigate further. And it's not a good look. It is not a good look for the government at all. I don't think I remember a time when when the government has been investigated by the police. Greg is saying swift justice. Well, and Nerdy is saying, is Sue Gray going to look into the Sue Gray reports once it comes out? Good question. So it's not a good look, for the government. But it does give Boris Johnson some breathing space, because now he can say, well, I can't say anything about these parties now because because it's being investigated by the police, and it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be the right thing to do for us to talk about this, while it's being investigated. And who knows how long this police investigation is going to take? Could be weeks. And so yeah, he's kind of Teflon at the moment. He survived another week in his job, and because apparently some of his backbench MPs were they were going to send letters into the 1922 committee to start the process of a vote of no confidence, but some of them decided to wait until the Sue Gray report was published, and to see the results of that first before they decided whether or not they were going to do that. But now it's been handed over to the police, and the police are investigating. It could be ages before the report is actually published, because it's in the hands of the police now. So yeah, Boris Johnson lives lives another day, lives to fight another day. And Nerdy is saying the police don't look into crimes that happened in the past anyway. They only look into future crimes. Yes. So yes, Operation Save Big Dog is in full effect, and which brings us on nicely to the next news. The next news item, Boris launches Operation Save Big Dog and will scrap Plan B as he bids to stay in number 10. This is from LBC News. Boris Johnson is set to scrap Plan B measures as he launches an operation to save his job, dubbed Save Big Dog, according to reports. His office has had to apologise to the Queen for a do that was held on the eve of Prince Philip's funeral, which the monarch attended alone under COVID rules, and he said sorry to MPs for attending a Downing Street garden event in May 2020 during lockdown. He has insisted he thought it was a work do, but his apologies did little to placate opposition, with Scottish Tories joining Labour and calling for him to go, before a group mocked him outside Downing Street dressed in Boris Johnson masks and partying, as they dubbed it a work event. Now, the Prime Minister has reportedly launched what he's dubbed Operation Save Big Dog, which will work out who should lose their jobs after Sue Gray's investigation into government staff during COVID restrictions is completed. So, yeah. Save the custard cream king. LBC is trash news, Greg is asking. It's kind of hit and miss. It can be good or it can be trash, depending. It's similar to Fox News in a way, but it's not quite so bad. I don't think it's quite as bad as Fox News, but I think it's quite close to being Fox News. Um, but the problem is they they do have some good presenters, but they also have some awful presenters as well. So yeah, it is. You need to separate the wheat from the chaff, I guess. Nerdy is saying Scottish Tories are insignificant anyway. Jacob Rees-Mogg said so. And he goes on to say, most UK news is trash. Leaning broadly centrist? Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Yeah. But yeah, so so Operation Big Dog is in full effect, and it seems to be working for him at the moment. But I think he's on borrowed time. Greg is saying Fox had a few good people. They got rid of them. Yes. But I think Boris Johnson, he is on borrowed time. I think it's only a matter of time before he goes, because it's just one scandal after another, and I think a lot of his backbencher MPs are fed up with it now, and I think it is only a matter of time before he's ousted, and there's a leadership race, and there's a leadership race. But unfortunately, I dread to think. I dread to think who will take his place. It could be Rishi Sunak, could be Priti Patel, could be Liz Truss. So, yeah, it's not looking good either way. What else have we got? Oh, this is a good one. This is from the Mirror. Boris Johnson himself threatened backbenchers MPs' claim to Standards Chair. I have heard MPs alleging that the Prime Minister himself has been doing this, Chris Bryant, chair of the Common Standards Committee, said. Boris Johnson himself threatened to pull funding from backbenchers' constituencies unless they voted the right way, MPs have reportedly claimed. Chris Bryant, the chairman of the Common Standard Committee, says he has been told the Prime Minister was involved in bully boy tactics used by party whips to stop rebellious MPs ousting him. Labour, he told the BBC that such behaviour is illegal. Labour MP Mr. Bryant said he has spoken to about a dozen Conservative MPs in recent days who have been threatened by Tory whips either with having funding withdrawn from their constituencies or promised funding if they vote the right way. I have even heard MPs alleging that the Prime Minister himself has been doing this, Mr. Bryant said. What I have said to all of those people is that this is misconduct in public office. The people who should be dealing with such allegations are the police. So, Nerdy saying, how much public money does it cost to fly Liz Truss to Australia? £500,000 apparently. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the news story that came out today. Boris would never threaten anyone. Take that back or I'll remove your funding. So yeah, so this is the story that Boris Johnson and along with the chief whips, have been threatening, have been blackmailing um, their MPs, basically saying that if unless you vote the right way, you'll have funding taken away from your constituency, from your constituencies, which is illegal. So if true, if this turns out to be true, again, but Boris Johnson, he can end up in hot water, basically. We're being led by criminals. This is mafioso stuff. It's terrible. It's terrible what's going on at the moment. I can't believe we've got to put up with another 2 years of these wankers. Honestly, it's just one thing after another with with these guys. They're literally, if these allegations are true, then they're literally criminals. Hang on. And so, yeah, it's terrible. What else? But Boris Johnson has said that he will resign but only. Boris Johnson will resign if he misled Parliament over Partygate, but only if he did it knowingly. Let's share this story here. This is from the Daily Mirror again. Boris Johnson will resign if he misled Parliament over Partygate, but only if he did it knowingly. Downing Street declared today. So this is basically plausible deniability. This is a loophole. That Boris Johnson is trying to find for himself. Because he only has to resign if he knowingly if he knowingly broke the ministerial code. And so if he can claim, if he can make the claim that he didn't know that he broke ministerial code, then he doesn't have to resign. The article says this. The Prime Minister's official spokesman said he abides by the ministerial code, which said ministers who knowingly mislead Parliament will be expected to offer their resignation. But he hastily denied the Prime Minister had ever lied to Parliament and urged journalists not to jump ahead of a fact-finding report on parties across Whitehall, which we know now has now been handed to the police. The police are now investigating. The Prime Minister claimed nobody told me the May 20th party broke COVID rules. Nobody told him that the party was breaking the rules, but he he made the rules, and he told us all to keep. He was telling us all to keep the rules all along. Nerdy saying, I didn't know that I'd broken the laws that I put in place. And we've got spooky bed hair. Hey, hey up, spooky bed hair. Well, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. It's been a long time since you've since you've been in the side chat. So welcome. And if anyone wants to join the live stream, then I've sent an invite link to the usual places. But what else can we? And it doesn't. These scandals don't end there. It just goes. It just goes on and on. He had a birthday bash as well. Boris Johnson had birthday bash during lockdown. ITV News understands. A surprise party with cake and up to 30 guests. ITV News UK editor Paul Brand outlines the events of the party. ITV News understands took place during lockdown. This is the news that Boris Johnson was ambushed by a cake. he was ambushed by a cake. It's like an episode of The Thick of It. You couldn't make it up, could you? He was ambushed by a cake, for goodness sake. ITV News understands Boris Johnson had a birthday party during the first lockdown in 2020, despite the rules forbidding social gatherings indoors at the time. It's alleged that the Prime Minister's wife, Carrie Johnson, helped organise a surprise get-together for him on the afternoon of the 19th of June, just after 2 p.m. And he was he was ambushed by a birthday cake. And what else? Oh, I can't find the article, but apparently Rishi Sunak accidentally turned up to this birthday bash by accident, if you can believe such a thing. I thought I had that article lined up, but I don't. Never mind. Spooky saying, fun fact, my hair is modeled on Boris's. And Nerdy is saying, a cake is the last thing you'd expect on your birthday. Yes, exactly. And what else? And I don't think I'm going. I don't think I've got anything else for tonight's. On the sofa. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Here's that story about Rishi Sunak. Here we go. If it works. Yeah, hang on. So let's just share this. Yeah. Can you believe this? Rishi Sunak accidentally went to Boris Johnson's number 10 birthday event. This is from Yahoo News. Rishi Sunak accidentally attended Boris Johnson's birthday gathering during lockdown, Yahoo News UK has been told. According to a Treasury source, the Chancellor went to the Cabinet room for a COVID strategy committee meeting and happened upon the celebration on the 19th of June 2020. Yahoo News UK understands he was unintentionally present when a birthday cake was served along with up to 30 other people, including the Prime Minister's wife Carrie and their interior designer Lulu Lytle. At the time, indoor gatherings were banned under strict coronavirus legislation, which with breaches punishable with fines. I mean, do we? I mean, do we believe this? Do we believe that the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, attended this party accidentally? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. The article goes on. At the time, I've read that. The news comes after the Met Police announced on Tuesday that they are launching an investigation into suspected rule breaking in Downing Street during the pandemic. The decision follows weeks of criticism against the force for repeatedly declining to investigate the growing number of rule breaking parties reported to have happened at number 10. And I'm sure there's gonna be photos and video footage to that is yet to emerge. I'm sure of it. There's more about these parties that we don't even know about. So and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before before even more stories and along with photos and footage emerge about these parties. This story is not going to go anywhere. What what do you guys think? But for now, I think I'm going to wrap things up. That's all the stories that I've got for this week. But before I go, I want to recommend another. If you're interested in British politics, I just poke. We just poke fun at these at these people on this channel. But if you want some more in-depth analysis, then I can recommend a channel called Maximilian Robespierre. His videos are really good. He is really good at exposing these people and going into in-depth analysis. I think his videos are really good, and he publishes a video just about every day. So do I'll put a link to his channel in the description. So do check out his channel and tell him I sent you. His videos are really good, really informative. So do tune in for On the Sofa next week. We'll be back next week with more politics and more satire, and hopefully, my mate Brain Sample as well, and hopefully we'll have some other guests too, joining us for the live stream. So do tune in for that. Spooky saying, I remember John Major going from crisis to crisis almost daily. It's surprising how long people can cling on to power. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking that these days, and feel like the John Major days, towards the end of his political career. It's a similar thing that seems to be happening with with Johnson now, he seems to be going from crisis to crisis, to that daily. So, yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before he goes as well. And on that bombshell, I shall say good night. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time. Bye for now.